I want to show some examples of using the brush tool. The brush tool is found right here on your toolbar. This is a photo that I've already edited. Isn't she so cute? This was her first birthday. It was so funny. This mom had bought pajamas in like 6 different sizes for her daughter to go through, and so she wants to get photos every year in the same pajamas. So here we are in our pajamas, and we have this beautiful edited picture. But I want to show what just a few simple brush adjustments can do to add to the photo. So one thing that we can do with our brush tool is we can brighten her face, and so that's a pretty good start for the exposure. Is just to, if you look over here, if you see the outer circle and the inner circle, that is your feather. So when you lower the feather, it lowers the circle. If you're going to do a more precise brush, you want a smaller feather. If you want it, to be a more gradual edit, you can have a larger feather. In this case, the larger one's fine. So I'm going to just brush a little bit of exposure on her face, really subtle. And I'm going to do her feet too because they look a little bit dark. And maybe bring the highlight on that down slightly. I'm going to hit new. And let's add some exposure here to the rocks. So I'm going to up that a little bit more. Let's bring in a bunch of highlights. And then just click and drag and brush this over my rocks. See, these are really subtle edits, but they make a big difference in the end. And I'll show you side by side what I mean. And then, so we just brush that over the rocks. Maybe we'll brush it here on the ground too. Maybe up into here. Maybe a little bit behind her. Add some, I'm going to undo that because that made it too bright back there. I can do new and bring the exposure down just a little bit and then brush some light behind her. One thing I do want to do is add some like sunlight back here. This was in golden hour, so the sun was actually behind this little bridge that we're on, but I want it to look like there's some sun back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit new, and I'm going to go to temperature right here. You can really select anything, and as you make adjustments, it may say custom. That's fine. But on my temperature, I'm going to say 15 is fine. Again, the subtler, the better. And then I'll add in a bunch of highlights because I want it to look like sun. So I'm going to go in here and just real subtly brush this over here. But some, you see, I did some on the rock there and I did some on the sidewalk. Just to add a little bit of pop of sunlight. You can play with that and, add in a little bit more of like the golden color if you want. You can see if I go all the way, it's really dramatic. I don't want it that dramatic. Ooh, there it goes. It was had a little bit of a lag there, but I'll keep it around 20. Even that's a little dramatic. We'll go back to 15. Oops. Well, it's wanting to get 17, so that's fine. But just brushing that in, adding a little bit of sunlight. Another thing that we can do, I'm going to hit new, and as you can see, each time I hit new, a new little spot shows up here. So if you want to re-edit that spot, so like here, I can go in and just click it. And let's say I want to make it a little bit blurry. So I'm going to go to my sharpness and just bring that all the way down. See, yeah, it's real subtle, but it just blurred that. If you want to take away some of that, so like you can see some of her hand and some of her feet were kind of in that zone, I'm going to hit option, and that brings my little minus. And I can adjust this brush size and take that out of what was being affected. If you want to see what area is being affected, you just click and hold, and see, it's kind of dramatic where I took it off, but I'm going to go back to this one where I had the feet, and I'm going to go back and brighten that just a little bit. So just a couple of really simple adjustments with my brush tool. There are all kinds of things that you can do with the brush tool. Any adjustment that you can make to the whole picture, well, most adjustments that you can make to the whole picture, you can make to individual spots. And so Let's say that you wanted to brighten some whites in an area, you could do that. If you wanted to bring out blacks some more, you could do that. You can make areas sharper. Sometimes if I don't quite get the focus right, let's say her face needs to be in focus, I can click sharpness and brush only over her eyes or only over her face. So there's tons of options that you have with this brush tool, but I want to show you the difference that made. And so I'm going to click here to see my original photo. So this was my edited photo, and this is with just a few brush edits. And so like I said, very simple adjustments, and that looks awesome to me. Those adjustments made a big difference in the overall photo, and you know, it's just a little bit extra, a little bit of pop. So hopefully you can use that brush tool just to make a little bit of extra effort in your photos. Like I said, a little bit goes a long way, and so don't worry about trying to overdo it. Like, a little bit goes a long way. You saw the adjustments I made were very small and subtle, and that's what really makes it pop. So there's your brush tool.